We are live, and we've got some viewers, Garrett. So, welcome to the Wake Up Warrior Show, the show that teaches you to do more, be more, and suck less. My name is Zane Miller. I'm the executive producer, helping steer this crazy show. First, I want to let you guys know that this is brought to you by the Wake Up Warrior app. You should go check it out. It's in the Play Store and in the App Store, the iTunes app.
That's right, dude. You got it.
There we go.
I'm going to catch you iTunes. All right.
So go ahead and download that. Check out the app. Yeah, even Garrett's showing you right here. Let me switch over there. Very cool app. Connects you to all things Warrior, even the show on here that you're watching right now live. Hello to the Warriors that are watching live. So go ahead and check it out. Also, we'll go ahead and show you Garrett's app a little bit, or his website a little bit later. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Garrett, how are you? Let's get started.
Dude, I'm good. I'm better than good. I finally got this damn microphone figured out so I can sound somewhat official.
Sounding good. Sounding good.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's the beauty of technology. It only takes you about, like 7 times to use it before you figure it out, which
Right.
makes it a lot nicer because now my voice sounds significantly sweeter.
Yeah.
Years. Welcome to Wake Up TV. This is your boy, Garrett J. White. You know what? I'm going to need to get one of those pop things. The thing is crazy. I did radio for like 6 years, so doing the microphone thing was not new to me. I don't know how I forgot that you got to actually kind of be up on the mic a little bit. I remember because, see, the show I used to run a few years ago, we ran a show called Producer Revolution Radio, and we were in this studio, real studio, not like, this fake studio here in my house. It's like now the new real studio. But
Right.
I would be at the studio, and there was a guy before me, and his name was Bob. And Bob had a show, and Bob loved to drink coffee. Bob drank coffee, and Bob loved his show. He'd been doing his show for like 12 years. So here's how it would go down. Bob's show was right before my show. So Bob would come in with his coffee, and his show was like 2 hours long. So Bob would be up on the microphone. I'm going to put it up in here. Here you go. Bob would be up on the microphone. It would be like this, and he'd have his little pop cover on it, and Bob would be all up in the microphone, like all up in the microphone like this, and the whole time like, like that math
The
teacher
super
I had in
condenser
high
mic.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my math teacher, he was a big coffee guy too. And so like constantly it was just coffee on the breath, coffee on the breath. Well, the microphone smelled like coffee, but it didn't just smell like coffee. Somehow it smelled like coffee and butthole. Now, you might be asking, well, Garrett, I can understand how you know it smelled like coffee, but how the hell do you know it smells like coffee and butthole? Well, that's an episode for another time, my friends.
Yeah,
It's an episode
wow.
for another time. Yeah.
It sounds exciting already.
Yeah, it's no good. Not a good story. But hey, anyway, see, we're here, Wake Up TV. Zane's not joking around. I just got notification from one of my team members here before the show. We have over 500, right up pushing 500 downloads of the Wake Up Warrior app. Here's the craziest thing, over 50,000 page views inside of the Wake Up Warrior app. So if you have not downloaded the Wake Up Warrior app, you might be saying, well, why, Garrett, you put all this pressure on me to download the Wake Up Warrior app? Here's why. Are you ready? I mean, just listen to once because then we're going to get into content for today. Here's why. Okay, one location, 100% of the content, 100% of the time, from the power of the palm of your hand. This app itself gives you access to everything, right? So we're in an on-demand generation. Zane, I don't know if you actually watch like real live television. You watch real live television?
I don't know, sometimes. Like now when I'm given choices of whatever I want to watch, I just plan what I want to watch it, and then I'm done. I move on and do something else.
All right, so you watch a little live. I don't even watch any live TV. This damn new TV. Well, let's see, we graduated our TVs. We moved to Orange County, California, and my wife said we need some new TVs. And I was like, okay, cool. So we got some new TVs, but I didn't recognize, had no idea that TVs, I know this is retarded being how much technology I got, but I didn't recognize that you could actually watch Netflix and a whole bunch of cool stuff through your TV.
Smart
YouTube,
TV.
Facebook, the whole thing, right? Well, I didn't know this. Yeah, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. The only person on the planet is mind-blowing to is me, because I guess everybody else has been doing this for like 5 years, right? So I go in there and I'm doing the download. I just do the on-demand thing. We just Netflix in, we YouTube, and we just do everything on demand. I don't do anything live. So I get the why you might not be watching the show live. I get it. I understand. Most of my radio show episodes not live. right? So sometimes we just, I get it. Most of the downloads are going to come automated. But the question is, how do you access all this content so that you don't get confused and chaotic, right? Well, we got Wake Up TV on Mondays. We got M3 Radio on Wednesdays. We got Sunday Sermon on Sundays. And every single day we got the Wake Up WOD video. We got daily rant content, which is pretty much me just like going off pissed off about something, teaching something, always being real, raw, relevant, and focused on creating some results. So if you want to have access to the on-demand ability, so when you need it, need a little fire lit under your ass and get fired up as a warrior, for myself as well as all our warrior brothers helping with this, so you'll get the app. Great location to pull that off. So we're going to go into content today. Content today is insane. It's insane content. And I'm going to warn you as we head into this content, like I'm going to be very, 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 very irreverent. And at the same time, I'm going to have huge respect for my irreverence. And what I mean by this is we're talking about death. Death is a serious topic simply because you and I aren't ever going to escape death. And a few people died this week. We had some individuals die yesterday here on the planet. Tons of people all over the world. I get this. There's individuals dying. Tomorrow maybe it'll be me, and this will be the last show you'll ever see of me. And then you'll be taking screenshots of me, putting them on Facebook and talking about me. I get it. I'm cool with that, and I would encourage you to do that if I die tomorrow. If I die today, do the same thing whenever I die. You go ahead and do that. So nonetheless, all of us are getting into the game. We're not going to leave this game without dying. Right? So death is a conversation people don't want to talk about. They don't want to have a conversation about. And yet I think death can be one of the most powerful teaching tools for you and I. Now, I believe this so much that I have created my own video to be played and the entire seminar. Yes, my friends, seminar at my funeral. Now, some people think I'm fucking around with this. I'm not fucking around with this because here's why. I have sat through over 17 funerals in the past 6 years. The crazier thing is that 11 of those individuals were under the age of 40. Of the 11 under 40, 6 of those people died because of overdose or accidents in planes. Now, sitting in these funerals has led me to have some serious conversations with myself. And what I've noticed about funerals is this. Most of the focus in a funeral is not on the person who died. Most of the focus in a funeral and when a person passes is a focus on oneself. And this begins to create a whole new level of conversation inside us. Now, for the direct family of the person who passed, there's a different emotional experience. But for the other 99%, there's an emotional experience that tends to focus on self. Now, this death conversation, then, for me, and wanting to speak at my seminar or my funeral, aka seminar, my wife's horribly opposed to this, but I've already talked to my attorneys in the estate. It has to be done. Like, there's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's restriction to the game. My funeral has to be done this certain way. And here's why. Because I want my funeral to be a place of inspiration and a catapult for life. Right? At that point, I mean, who am I going to care? I'm not going to give a shit. I'm dead. Like my butt, done. The only people worried about is I'm worried about everybody else who's still alive to kind of figure out the game. It's not that I will figure the game all the way out by the time I die. I'll be at whatever level that looks like and moving on to whatever that level that looks like. But nonetheless, death itself tends to be a sensitive conversation, kind of like sex, like real conversations of sex, real conversations of spirituality, real conversations that you and I face every single day. And yet, for most of us, we're so repressed as a people. We're so suppressed emotionally as a people. We are so absolutely constricted as leaders and as liberators and as warriors and as human beings in this evolution called life, that for most of us to have real, raw, relevant conversations, it's fucking damn near impossible. Why? Because the marketplace has been built to create a game of mirroring, honoring, and projecting our own inadequacies on others. So let's start with story number 1. Justin Bieber doesn't die. Maybe some people want Justin Bieber to die. I hear people say this. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you want Justin Bieber to die? This has nothing to do with Justin Bieber dying. This has nothing. Why would you want Justin Bieber to fail? Why would you want anything in harm to come to this 19-year-old boy? See, I'm going to have you consider any harm that you and I project onto another, anyone that we want to die, we expect to fail. This comes from an energy of victimhood and complete and absolute utter pussitis. This pussitis runs inside all of us. And to my ladies out there that get offended by this, and to my guys that get offended by this word pussy, I understand. My encouragement, quit listening, because I'm not going to stop saying it. And here's why. Because the word itself actually has some connection and power for the marketplace. I'm actually messaging these shows too. It doesn't have anything to do with a vagina. It has everything to do with what? A label of disconnection for guys that are really aggressive. Now, I get that it started and it was rooted in oppression of women. That is not what I'm about. If you follow me at all, you absolutely know I treat my wife as a goddess. I respect women. That is the stand. But this word for athletes, for aggressive individuals like me, it has a different meaning. So if you can't get over the semantics of it, here's my encouragement. Go find somebody who can inspire you to a place of getting where you want. For the rest of you, we're going to call it pussitis. So this place then has us look at somebody like Justin Bieber who gets arrested. Now they're considering deporting this 19-year-old pop superstar, deporting him back to Canada, not allowing him back in the U.S. because he's on smoking weed, popping pills, and drinking while driving his Lambo in Miami Beach, racing one of his other little 19-year-old hip-hop buddies in his Ferrari. Now these kids symbolize a reality that's going on in our marketplace, which is this. We love our celebrities, and we love to crucify our celebrities. We love to celebrate people's success, and we love to crucify them in their failures. Why? This is a question. Why is there so much energy being spent on a 19-year-old boy and his drinking, drug, and pill-popping experience in Miami? I can tell you this is no different than what happens in Las Vegas, LA, New York, Los Angeles. It happens all over the place with grown-ass 45-year-old, 50-year-old men all day long, but we don't hear about them. Why? Why? Because of the dude that's the executive over here at this company that's hiding it. It's the guy under pressure who's hiding in closet drinking while not telling his wife, while cheating on his wife with a prostitute in town. It's the guy who's sedating himself and hiding. But see, we can use a Justin Bieber as an outlet to avoid a conversation of actually looking at ourselves. The bigger question you have to ask her is, why is a 19-year-old boy going to these sources? Okay, so he's 19. But I want you to understand, this kid has been in the spotlight longer than almost he's been a teenager. The pressure that you got to figure, grown-ass men and women, grown people, are their entire financial lives are supported by this 19-year-old singing. He has become a god in his own right. And so we elevate him to this place, put all of this power into his world, all of this pressure into his world, and then we wonder why occasionally he does something to release the pressure. See, power players, whether they're 19 or they're 99, when you obtain power in your life, that comes with pressure. That pressure will either break you or it will expand you. And I'm going to have you consider, there is no man, woman, or child who will walk this planet, who searches for, reaches for, and accesses levels of power that will not fold to a default counterfeit version of sedation in order to just fucking manage the game of the pressure. So what do I mean by this? You see this? This is Patron. I ain't gonna fucking lie to you. There are days that there is no way the pressure of what I'm doing in Warrior Movement, the pressure in what we're building, the pressure of having it all, the pressure of the game, the access of power as a 37-year-old leading a movement around the globe. This pressure brings into my life not perfection. What it brings into my life is a reality check. There's days I'm so strung up, the only thing that I can think of doing is this.
Wow, that was a powerful drink.
That was a big fucking shot right there.
Yeah, that's intense.
Now here's the thing I'm going to tell you right now. That's a choice. This is not water. I did this right here live on this. Why? Because I have gone to it in the past, and I'm sure I will in the future. I've never done it live on a show before. That was new. But I'm not going to lie to you. See, you and I, we've got what? We have outlets in our life. We have mechanisms that when we access power, we search for something. Now, you know how long this bottle's actually been sitting in my closet right here in my office? It's been sitting here for about 4 months. That's the first poll I've had on that thing in months. Why? Because I realized that there was another choice. What was the choice? This little man right here. Now, you may not know what this little man is. This little man right here is a meditation man. He has no head. A guy a few years back in one of my events created this steel sculpture for me representing meditation. Because see, in every single moment, every single day, I'm left with these choices when I feel that pressure. I can go here, which is what young Justin Bieber did. He's like, I'm going to go pop some pills, I'm going to smoke me some weed, and I'm going to get lit, and then I'm going to go race my friend in my Lambo. Why not? I've got such serious pressure. I have to get on stage and produce. Everyone has expectations for me. The bigger I get, the more expectations I have. The more the adults around me are not necessarily after my best interest. They're after their own paycheck. Let's not fucking joke around here. They're after a paycheck. Justin Bieber dies tomorrow, they're going to go find another paycheck. Yet Justin's left at a 19-year-old experiencing pressure that most adults have never experienced in their entire life at the level of pressure he's experiencing. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that you always have a choice. I had a choice. I wasn't planning on even doing that on the show. For whatever reason, you get it. It's not because I wanted to drink it necessarily, but obviously I get to show you that there was a choice. And every single day, as this Patron sits in the middle of my meditation, man, I know that I have a choice. See, Justin Bieber had a choice. You know what his choice was? He could have meditated. Is anybody up in his world teaching a meditation? See, one of the things that comes along in this pressure of life, see, and it's not just power players, it's everybody. Yesterday, Maryland Mall shooting, 2 days ago. Kid walks in, 21 years old, with a shotgun, gets dropped off in a taxi cab, goes up to a skate shop called Zoomies, goes in and blasts and shoots and kills a 21-year-old girl and a 25-year-old boy. Then turns the gun and shoots himself. What is driving this madness? What is driving this behavior? My heart breaks for the families who are now scheduling funerals for these two young kids and the shooter. My heart breaks for those who are seeing it around the entire experience. But just like the Justin Bieber experience, you can make it about the shooter. You can make it about these young kids who died. Or you could turn and look at yourself and say, what is causing this madness? And understand that you are just as capable in your life to hit levels of pressure, to start drinking, popping pills, smoking weed, getting in your car and driving down the street, as you are to what? As you are to pull out a shotgun, drive down to the mall and shoot someone. And here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. God, this was so hard for me to get. And it was this. You can push with the pressure only so far. There are two ways to manage and deal with the pressure. Number one is to expose the desires underneath the pressure for release. What do I mean by this? See, you and I, we're in this situation day to day. We're in this experience day to day of just life, being married, having children, being in fitness, trying to change our bodies, trying to build our businesses, trying to manage kids. My goodness, I get it. There's a reason why half the women on my block right now have happy hour at 3:00 p.m. and down a bottle of wine each. This happens every single day. Why? Because of the pressure. The pressure of just being alive, the pressure of just living, the pressure of having to produce, the pressure of having to show up in perfection. And what I'm going to have you consider is this. What if there was an outlet for the shooter? What if there was an outlet for his experience? I'm not justifying what he did. I'm just saying that every single day you kill people with your words. You kill people with your behavior. You kill people in your judgment and your persecution of who they are, and you don't know the death and the carnage and the body bags all around you. Why? Because you can't see it. Maybe you're not pulling out the shotgun. You're just emotionally shutting off that person in your neighborhood. You're emotionally shutting off to those people in your church. You're emotionally shutting off to your spouse. You're emotionally shutting off to your children. And you are no better and no different. You just use a different type of shotgun to kill the people around you. Third story. Playboy Model, yesterday morning, Cassandra found dead in her bathtub from an overdose, 34 years old. This is a trend. This is a trend. We are watching death rates and suicide, and we are watching killing in levels and in ways we have never seen before on our planet. And we want to turn the eye. We want to turn the eye, and we want to make it about somebody else. We want to say, well, who's going to come in and fix this? Who's going to come in and solve this problem? And I'm going to have you consider that you, warrior, you have been called to be the beacon of liberation for the marketplace. It doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. You have never been called to be perfect. You have been called to be perfectly honest. Why do I show you this? Why do I show you the Patron? Why do I show you the reality of who I am? Because I'm not fucking perfect. I haven't professed to be. I don't try to be. I'm not trying to give you any sense of illumination into your life that somehow Garrett J. White, the master coach mentor, AKA, is perfect, because I'm not. I fuck up in my marriage, in my business, in my life. I lose money. I make stupid choices. I make not so stupid choices. I make great choices. I make horrible choices. And yet amidst all of this, the one thing that I know is this: nothing I see outside of me is about anybody else but me. And I'm going to have you consider that maybe the suicides that are happening, maybe the drunkenness and the drug addiction and the outlets that we're searching, and maybe the shootings in the malls, and maybe the terrorism around the world, maybe if you just started with you. Maybe if you followed what Mahatma Gandhi said and you just became the change you wish to see in the world. You know what change I wanted to see in the world for me? It was what sparked this entire Wake Up Warrior movement. It was one thing. I was so fucking exhausted trying to be perfect. I was tired of putting on the facade. I was tired of pretending like my marriage was perfect. I was tired of pretending that my life was perfect, that I had it all figured out. I was tired. And that's when I got it. That's when I recognized for the first time that you and I have not been called to the standard of perfection that so many of us religiously were twistedly taught. To be perfect is to be perfectly honest. Why? Because it triggers in us an opportunity to experience at-one-ment or atonement, or to begin again. It gives us a chance to be here. But see, I wonder what would have happened if Cassandra, the model from Utah County, who dies in a bathtub in Southern California, if she was able to just be honest about what she was feeling. If the people around her would listen to her and be the outlet, that they would become the pills, that they would become Molly, that they would become the pain pills that she was taking, that they would become this. If Justin Bieber could just be a 19-year-old kid without the pressure of being so quote-unquote perfect. What happened to the young kid who walked into the mall in Maryland with a shotgun if somebody had been around to actually hear him? There were comments from kids in his school, and they're like, I never would have expected this. I never would have expected this. I can't believe this happened. Well, guess what? There's a shitload of stuff going on in life that you don't expect and you don't see, because you got this twisted fucking reality in your mind that everyone else has it figured out, that everyone else has got things running solid, that everyone else's marriage is perfect and yours is the one that's screwed up, that everybody else's bodies are perfect and yours is the one that's screwed up, that somehow you are alone. And this is the one key to making sure that you end in destruction. Is that you believe the lie that you are alone, and the secondary lie that comes with it, that you have been called to liberate yourself alone. Your liberation cannot come in your quiet places. Your liberation cannot come hiding your secrets in your dark corners. Your liberation cannot come from being in a place in which you don't express what the fuck is really going on. But see, when you shine the light upon what's really going on, you have a chance for something different. But if you don't, what you're left with is your demons in your darkness, all by what? All by yourself. And let me tell you how that goes down. It goes down in death, my friends. So you can spend your time judging Justin Bieber. Or you can learn from the lessons that when you have power, there is pressure and there is always a choice. And sometimes you're going to go to your version of this. I love all of my overweight friends who look at me like, oh, dude, you drink. I'm like, dude, you eat. What do you want me to tell you? You overeat. I drink. Okay. We're no different. Don't judge me because my sin, missing the target's different than yours. At the same time, we have people who are choosing fitness. We have people who are choosing being right, being self-righteous. See, all of us have our drug of choice. We have that thing inside of us that holds us back from being truly authentic with the marketplace. But what we don't get is your authenticity is not needed for them. Your authenticity is needed for who? For you. It's needed for you. They went back and looked at the journal of this young man who shot these other two kids at the mall. And his journal was filled with emotional distress. Of course it was. To the school, they said, he was a perfect kid. And yet underneath the surface was a game of darkness that he didn't know how to manage. I can't imagine the last waning moments as Cassandra, who had lived a life as a Playboy model and as a model trying to get her career back on path where she really wanted to go. What were the final moments in her mind as she felt herself slipping away in the bathtub? Justin Bieber, who escapes to South America or to Panama to try to clear his brain, to get away from the pressure and all the fucking judgment from everyone on a 19-year-old kid. And yet you can spend all your time and energy worrying about what everybody else is up to, where you could ask yourself a question. What are you doing with the pressure you have? Because you know what I've noticed most people do? Most people, for fear of the pressure, choose to simply sedate and live a life of mediocre bullshit. Because, my friends, I'm going to tell you right now, to change the way your life is, to level up the way everything is in your life, to ultimately live the warrior's way to having it all, it is going to require that you experience pressure. And when that pressure comes, you will have a choice. And that choice is going to be this. Will I choose a game of false counterfeit release? Or will I choose a game of power and possibility? Meditation is always a choice. In our show next week, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to discuss what meditation is and how it drives in, but ultimately it's this. It's the ability to process and release. Today's message is simply this. You are hiding. And who would you be if you stopped hiding? Who would you be if you shifted one subtle word in your memory and in your mind and a belief system that is, you're supposed to be perfect, and you replaced it with what? I'm supposed to be perfectly honest. What if the incarceration that you felt and the inevitable layering of the lies and the stories and the half-truths that support it so that you could hide that precious little secret, what if you just spoke the truth, and in speaking the truth, you found your liberation? Repentance itself was preached to me as a kid growing up as a Christian boy like crazy. But what was repentance? Repentance to me is what? Being honest. Repentance gives you and I an opportunity to begin again. It gives us an opportunity to speak the truths of what's going on for us. I just did this today with my wife. I wanted to constrain. I didn't want to speak what was truly in my heart. I didn't want to share what was there. I didn't want to come on this show and do at times the things I do. I don't want to do at times a lot of the shit I do. But you know what I end up choosing? I choose it even though a piece of me doesn't want it. Even though a piece of me wants to lie. Even though a piece of me wants to hide. Even though a piece of me wants to put on the perception to you in the marketplace that I've got it all figured out. That I don't have any problems. That my wife and I don't fight. That my business always works, that my fitness is always on fire, that I'm always the best parent, and yet this is not the fucking truth. I fuck up, just like you. The only difference between me and so many people I'm around is that I ain't trying to pretend like I'm perfect, man. Because I ain't into playing that trap. I'm not about you holding me up to some Jesus Christ platform. I'm Garrett J. White. Used to be Garrett White. You know how the J came about? It was pretty funny. It came about because I couldn't remember my username and password for GoDaddy to get into GarrettWhite.com. So I end up getting GarrettJWhite.com because I can't remember the password and they won't send me the password, so I become GarrettJWhite.com. I'm a normal dude just like you who forgets his passwords on GoDaddy, who at times, instead of meditating, what do? I pound Patron. At times, I yell at my wife when I should speak powerfully and just share. I sometimes suppress. I hold things back. But the one thing I will tell you is I'm unwilling to fucking die so you can be comfortable. And that's what most people have chosen. They've chosen the path, as Henry David Thoreau spoke it, the path of quiet desperation. Going to the grave with their song and their desires and their truth still in them. And what I'm going to have you consider today is simply this. Maybe the answer is just being honest. Maybe in being honest for the first time, you'll feel free. Maybe being honest for the first time, you'll have the capacity to see. Maybe being honest for the first time, it begins a journey towards your liberty. Breathe with me. Find the one place today. The one place that if you told the truth, at least to yourself, about what is, you could start moving in a direction toward liberty. Because shooting other people, overdosing in bathtubs, and driving down the road lit up on drugs, weed, and alcohol, these things don't happen on accident. They're the outcome of pressure that has been unresolved. My friends, as we wrap up today in this episode number 4, I want to thank you for being here in these shows. I want to thank those who are sharing these shows. I would encourage you to like this video, share it with individuals who you know get to have this truth in their life. I know it's not coming at you pretty. It's not coming at you packaged. Some of you aren't going to like my hat. You're like, why is he wearing a hat? Why is the hat backwards? Why is his earphone? Why is there a little pad on top of his earphones? Well, I'll tell you why. Because these are my daughter's earphones. Why? Because my Bose earphones, I keep forgetting to get the batteries for them. Kind of like I forgot my password to GoDaddy. So I borrow my daughter's 3, and these are puffy right there so that she can fit the headphones on her head. I wear my daughter's headphones. I forget my GoDaddy password, and just like you, I'm a normal person. And you've got an opportunity to be extraordinary by not only living the principles from today's show, but by sharing it and paying it forward. Pay this video forward to somebody else. Share the Wake Up Warrior app found in Google Play as well as in iTunes. Share the video series at wakeupwarrior.com. Share the experience. If you go to GarrettJWhite.com and you opt in right there, you'll see it on the screen and put your email in. You're going to get access to the daily rant and a weekly summary that I send out to only those individuals who have subscribed to our email list. The second is on the Wake Up Warrior app that you'll see there in the bottom right corner. The Wake Up Warrior app itself, this app is going to be the one place where we're going to be able to access, teach, guide, and inspire warriors around the globe. Again, just in the first couple of weeks, we have almost 500 downloads of this app, and we're going to push this app to hundreds of thousands of men and women all over the world who are feeling alone, who are hiding in their dark places, who need the light, and that light itself is going to come through sharing the message of the Wake Up Warrior movement. What it is to have it all, what it is to be in today's game. We don't need you to be perfect, my brother. We don't need you to be perfect, my sister. What we need you to be is to be perfectly honest. And that starts with being honest with you. Thank you so much for being here on this show. Zane, thank you yet again for being the executive producer of Wake Up TV. If it wasn't for you, brother, we would not have these shows. We would not be doing them because it would all be on my shoulders. And I got so much stuff going on. These messages would not go out. So thank you for being here. Any final words you have as we wrap up today's episode, bro?
No, you did a really great job here. I just want to, just kind of resonate with you. Very, very good points, guys. Again, go to the website GarrettJWhite.com and put in your name and email address in there, and you'll be able to get more of Garrett, more of his daily rants. That's what I love the most. Very powerful information, more powerful information always coming at you. So, thanks so much. Let's get some final words from you, Garrett.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Again, one last challenge outside of being honest is this. Take this week an opportunity for you to look into the marketplace, particularly at the celebrities. And I want you to stop judging them And I want you to start acknowledging that the judgments that you have are about you. And see where you can relate. I'm no better and no less than and no better than Justin Bieber. And at the same time, I'm no better than or less than the shooter, the 2 individuals who have been killed in the mall. I'm no different than the Playboy model who overdoses in the bathtub. I am all of these individuals, and there are pieces of who they are that are in me. And I could have been in the exact same scenario as all 3 of them. I'm not better. I'm not worse. I'm simply here in a game called Earth. Thanks so much for being here, my friends. We wrap up here as a final reminder that power in today's marketplace, the modern day warrior, comes down to the simple formula of authenticity. Be real, get raw, and stay relevant with the ruthless commitment to creating big-ass results today.